down below the surface of the water. But let's head now to above the Gulf shores on the latest cleanup efforts.
Our own Jeff Flock is in Grand Isle, Louisiana, surveying the efforts on shore. Jeff?
Believe it or not, that is good news. What you're seeing there is absolutely good news. If you remember the picture, and I'm going to walk over to the monitor so I can see the very latest thing that you're seeing. Out on the bayou here, we can't see it, but if I go inside here and you put the picture up, I can see now. Yeah, you're right, that's a hell of a wrench, and that is part of the robotic situation there. What you're seeing there is mud blowing back, as you point out, David. It was the black and it was the methane. That has been stopped now. According to the Coast Guard, that has been stopped. What's blowing up through there is the drilling mud. That's a good sign, and thus far everything's still moving according to plan. And that's the good news of the day today. The other piece of it, though, is we're on shore here, and we've been looking at the boom. We've been looking at the efforts. We're going to head to a press conference here in about 45 minutes down the beach where we'll get the latest from BP on the mitigation efforts. But even if this is successful and not another drop of oil spills into the Gulf, we still have untold amounts to clean up. I've been talking with Kevin Barbier today, who is with a company called
Oil Spill Eater International.
This is a company, and there are a lot of them that have products, in addition to the Corexit that is used by Nalco, or that's made by Nalco and used by BP, that are not being used. You've got, maybe Bob goes over and takes a look at what your product is. It does what?
It's bioremediation. What it does is it grows indigenous bacteria, so we're not bringing anything into the environment. We're just adding and growing rapidly natural bacteria that are going to eat and biodegrade the oil.
We always like to look at the companies involved in these situations on Fox Business Network, but you sat with me watching the president's press conference.
Yes,
and
sir.
Independent of your company or any dogs you have in the fight, you were not happy with what the president had to say.
Most of the stuff seemed, some of it was a little bit scripted, and I'm not convinced that they are doing everything possible. It just does not seem, whenever you talk to the people that live down here and they don't have boom to cover areas and things are moving, they can't put people to work. I've had people ask me, where do I go to get hired on to help out, because they know things aren't going on. It just does not seem like things are happening the right way.
The president said we're doing all we can right now. You feel like maybe the government ought to take charge of this cleanup effort because you don't feel like BP is doing an adequate enough job.
Well, something needs to happen with the cleanup effort. I don't know if the best case is the government taking over or maybe the government giving some direction as to what else can happen. Let private people do it, but BP should maybe relinquish that responsibility to someone else, someone that can actually clean it.
And before we get away, Kevin, I know earlier on the Fox Business Network we live sprayed some of your product, Oil Spill Eater, into this ditch which had a sheen on it, and I see now, I mean, it looks like it's murky, but it's largely cleaned up.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything left. They had some patches of oil in it as well, and it doesn't appear to be anything else. I mean, what I would like to suggest people do is go to our site, osei.us,
right,
and make their own decision on it.
I was going to say, a lot of people have ideas about how to do this. The sense on the ground, David and Liz, is not everything that can be done is being done. And that's the message this president is going to get loud and clear. As you know, I'm not a big critic of President Obama, but I will tell you that people on the ground here, even the ones that like him, say at this point the government is not doing what it needs to do.
Well, exactly what your guest just said, that he has people running up to him saying, where do I get hired to help clean this up? If there were ever a shovel-ready product, a shovel-ready project,
exactly,
that's it. You could put people to work immediately, Jeff.
That's not a make-work job. That's stuff that needs to be done. These marshes have oil in them that need to be cleaned right now. And I tell you, if you want somebody to do a job that needs doing, it's in the Works Projects Administration. This is stuff needs to be done.
Jeff Flock, terrific reporting from the bayou. Thank you very much, Jeff. Good to see you.